Hi guys, Yuliya here. So I had a couple of requests in the YouTube comment section to show all of the terrariums that I currently have, and I thought it was a great idea. So I'm going to show you all of the terrariums that I have, their condition, whether they need to be taken apart or taken care of, and also how old they are and what my future plans for these terrariums are. So let me get started. So this is the first terrarium that I have, and this is a repurposed aquarium. And overall, I'm really happy how it turned out. I will post a photo of what it looked like when I just put it together. But the Calathea here in the corner has done amazing. It just loves this terrarium. It doubled in size. And the Earth Stars also really liked it. I did have a Phalaenopsis orchid in the middle there, and it was not doing well because every time I would water it, the water would go down and collect in its leaves, and that's the worst thing that you can do to Phalaenopsis is for the water to collect in between the leaf, and it was so hard to remove it. So I just removed the orchid and I planted somewhere else. And I'm actually glad that I did because it would have been overgrown anyway. But I'm sorry about the glare, it's really bad. The maidenhair fern in the back has been struggling for a while. And about 2 months ago, I think I finally realized that I was underwatering it and not misting it enough despite it being in an enclosed environment. So that's what I started doing, and it rebounds like unbelievable. It's really happy. The same thing happened with Fittonia frankie right in the front. It was pretty much dead, and then I was like, I don't think I'm watering it enough. So speaking of the watering, I watered this terrarium slash aquarium once a month, and it was definitely enough for the Calathea and the Earth Star, but apparently not enough for the maidenhair fern. I did have a lot of condensation, so I thought it was enough, but I think watering it twice a month is better. So let me show you again how they look. Everything looks really healthy now. I fertilize it once a month with Espoma house plant fertilizer. Now also there were some questions on the gravel. So I use false bottom right here, and I put like a mesh on top of the gravel to separate it from soil. And this terrarium is over a year old, and you can see, like, yes, there is some algae obviously, but you know, some of the gravel is still like super white. Anyway, really pleased with this. Guys, like, I have not cleaned up this aquarium slash terrarium, have not done any grooming whatsoever. So there is, like, the Calathea needs some old leaves to be removed. Some of the moss has died, so I have to do something about that, but overall really, really happy with this. All right, so this is the second terrarium, and I call it the golden terrarium. This one is about 2 months old, and there are a couple of things about this terrarium. The first one is that I planted this kalanchoe, which is technically a succulent, in a terrarium, which is a big no-no. But my instinct was telling me that, like, it's gonna be fine, and it is just fine. It has been 2 months. It's still blooming. It's actually putting out more blooms right there. Has not rotted or anything like that. Really happy. The Fittonia is really happy, and the air plant is doing well. I actually bought another air plant. How cute that thing is. So this terrarium has been doing really well. I am misting it instead of watering it because for some reason they just like it a little bit better. I do open this door sometimes if the condensation is accumulated too much. This is one of my favorite terrariums. I just love how just everything is so happy in here. Now here's something that requires my attention like ASAP. Sorry about the glare. Oh, you can see my socks in there. So this is one of my favorite terrariums. This is the African Violet terrarium that I put together over a year ago. So there are a couple of things happening. The violets obviously outgrew its space, and they doubled in size since I planted them, and they still have a couple of flowers, but they're basically screaming out, let us out of here, because there's not enough space anymore. So I will be kind of taking this apart and putting them in pots very, very soon. But this terrarium has been amazing for probably until about a month ago. The African violets have been blooming since I planted them a year ago. They've been blooming through the winter, spring, summer, and fall with no problem. And now I think there's just not enough space. So yeah, I'll probably do a video on how to take this apart and how to put them in pots and take care of them after that. So here are the last two terrariums that I have, and this one is just a polka dot plant that I planted in a globe kit that I bought at Michael's. So you can buy it at Michael's or any craft store. It's about $5. But I find this particular terrarium just fascinating because it's its own ecosystem. So I put this terrarium together about 4 months ago, and I have not watered it since. So there is a water cycle that repeats itself throughout the day, and I love observing it. So you see the water condensation go up, and then the water falls back down, and then it repeats again, which is kind of like really magical. And the cutting of the polka dot plant tripled in size. So probably at some point I'm going to deconstruct this terrarium and then plant something else in here and observe it again. Now the last terrarium that I have is this apothecary jar, and I do have a video on how to put it together, and it's doing amazing. So this one is about 2 weeks old, and all of the plants are doing really well. And again, the polka dot plants grow really fast. So I think I'm gonna keep this terrarium for about 6 months. And that's when you put a terrarium together, it's really depends on how much time you want to get out of it. The faster the plant grows, the shorter lifespan of your terrarium will be. But for this particular terrarium, there is actually a water that accumulated here on the bottom. And again, this water will evaporate and go up and form condensation that will fall back, and the cycle will begin again. So I actually watered this terrarium once, only when I planted it, so I have not watered it since. And that's why I love terrariums so much, because they are so low maintenance. So you don't need to water them as often. They provide lots of humidity for your plants. They are very good if you have a lot of drafts in your home. So, and they're beautiful. That's the most important thing. They are just so pretty. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy seeing all of my terrariums. And there's one more thing that I wanted to tell you, is that I probably will not be putting out as many videos as I was previously in the next month or so, because I am full on designing for my projects and for my wonderful clients. For those of you who are new to my channel, I am actually a professional landscape designer, and this is obviously my busiest time of the year. So I have about 12 projects right now that are range from small residential to a large residential. So I'm concentrating on that. I love what I do. And actually, if you want to learn how to design a garden, from scratch, if you're a complete beginner and you don't know where to start, let me know. I can do a video about it. I'm really happy to share this information with you guys. Just let me know if you want to see any other videos, anything else, seed starting, you know, color palette combination, anything you want. And I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support, all of the likes and comments and views and everything. I really appreciate your attention. So anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.